what the algorithms are doing, how the HFTs are behaving, just as we did in yesterday's classroom. Well, we can see what happened at the top edge. There's this incredibly large sell supply coming in at the top edges up here. So, that's obviously as price moves up into this, you get that incredible supply. But what happens when we move down to the bottom edges? Does that supply stay in place? No, it doesn't. Vanishes. The supply vanishes at lower prices. The supply doesn't follow through on the short side, does it? So if the supply doesn't follow through on the short side, you're obviously going to be watching for that price level, and you can see that as the price retests the lows here, what happens? The supply is dominating. The demand is dominating the book. So when we come down into those low prints, you can see that the selling deltas are getting less. They're getting absorbed, of course. So there's a short squeeze potential on this. And you're obviously, as soon as you see that there's a short squeeze potential, you start thinking about this kind of idea here. You start recognizing the possibility that there is a short squeeze above the top edges of the markets because of the selling deltas, which are very negative, seem to be getting jammed at higher prices. So it puts a short sell, a short squeeze into these kind of areas here, doesn't it? It puts a short squeeze pop to the upside in those areas. It means that you've got to be careful because of obviously there is a lot of selling still coming in and it hasn't thrown away the positions yet. But you now know there's a short squeeze waiting for you to show up. The interesting thing that we saw during this phase is that the bids stayed dominant. And that's obviously something that as a trader we can now lean against for the short squeeze opportunity. So obviously that's some of the things that we talked about in yesterday's classroom, is this idea of recognizing how the tape reads, and then the idea of getting the price moving against the short sellers once the book stays bullish, but only when the book stays bullish. Any other time, you're just simply hiding into nothing at this stage. But anyway, failed to take the short squeeze on again. The bids are still in the book, so maybe another bottom edge buy opportunity after a little quick sweep. Too many profit takers in the equities at the moment, Mike. Too many profit takers taking profits in against that 62 print. And that's causing the price just to fail to make any higher negotiations. But the market internals are very, very strong with this at the moment. Take a look. So this is a 1 minute SPX chart. This has got the banker bets on it in green. It's got the NASDAQ banker bets in black. And it's got volatility in blue. You can see in terms of the volatilities, it seems to look relatively bullish. In terms of the banker bet, you can see that is very, very nicely primed and ready for that upside move. So those guys obviously getting a little bit caught up into this game. The seller's still dominating at the present moment, guys. The seller's still dominating, but that's a new low that we've had today. That's great news because that's what we like to see. That's the kind of trade that we want to be looking for. They failed on the previous squeeze, and that's what opened up the door to this, because now you've got to shake out the sellers, the buyers. So you can see what happened here. There was a brilliant opportunity to squeeze those guys, but the buyers themselves ended up getting squeezed because they failed, and they just flipped the price back around and pressed the price down south, and obviously that put the buyers into a lot of difficulty and a very, very easy sell away from that price. But you can see the market internals very, very bullish. The market internals are very bullish at the moment, and that's why we're able to make the market sell off at the moment, because there's too many buyers in here. They're getting squeezed out, and until they start buying back in again, there's no stopping this drop. We just wait it and let it drop and let it go, let it go, let it go, and then we'll start buying it. We'll start buying up as much as we can. It's looking great for a buy trade. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it.